waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
Can you turn your light off? Oh, yeah, it's hard for me to sleep like this.
I'm almost over this chapter. I got about 30 more minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
I can't sleep. Oh, all right.
A few moments later.
Babe, I mean, it's been 10 minutes. Can you please shut it off? I got to wake up early in the morning.
I have about 20 more minutes on this chapter. This is my only time to read.
I understand, but I have to get up early in the morning. Can you just read in the morning? I mean, I have a lot I have to do tomorrow.
Didn't you just get a sleep mask?
You know what? You right.
Use it.
Manta sleep, baby.
I don't know how you sleep with that thing on.
It's actually comfortable. Pitch black. I don't have to worry about your light. I'll be able to sleep just fine.
Well, enjoy it. Looks good on you.
This actually feels good. Oh, good night, baby.
Good night, baby.
Love you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, check out Manta Sleep. The link to the website is in the description of this video. Make sure that you use promo code TDPHINSTALK. That is TDPHINSTALK. Again, make sure you check them out. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. If you can't sleep when it's bright, these masks will turn out the light. Manta Sleep. Check them out. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Listen, we got all the details of the Tyreek Hill situation. There's too much information out here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you all the facts and what's officially going on, and I'm going to give you the receipts to prove it to you that what I've been telling you all has been nothing but factual and not fiction. I have all my receipts lined up, and I will show you a timeline and everything that's happening. Somewhat is some good news for now, and we hope it stays that way, but we'll see. So let's get into it. But before we get started, please hit the like button. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. And I appreciate everyone's love and support to TDPHINSTALK on a regular basis. All right. Let's dive in, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, I went live late last night to talk about this Tyreek Hill situation. We all know that Tyreek Hill has been alleged of what many would say assaulting a marina worker, a guy who works, at the marina, fishing marina. There wasn't much information. A lot of people pass it off as just a little mush, a little tap or whatever. It wasn't a big deal, X, Y, and Z. Okay. There's been rumors out here that there's footage, and nobody said there wasn't footage, but we still ain't heard nobody official say that there was footage. Okay. So that's one of the biggest pieces that a lot of people are waiting on, okay? Now, there's a lot of information coming out this very moment on Twitter about the situation, but I'm going to give you the exact thing that's going on, what everybody's saying from the media, and the detailed timeline of how things are working out here, okay? Quick recap. Situation happened on Sunday. Police went out to investigate Monday. On Tuesday, the police said they have no response. They have no information to give anyone. Okay, here we are Wednesday, and a lot more details have been released. A lot more details have been released. Okay, now, first and foremost, the first details that were released today. This is what was told to us. Okay, not me. This is what was out there in the media. They said, they said that basically what was said in a report today by a credible outlet, okay, this ain't me and my sources, just what was said, what I read from a credible outlet was that Tyreek and his crew were on the docks or whatever, and they started, quote unquote, fishing with the tarpon or whatever that were below, and the guy basically confronted them and said that that's against county rules. You're not allowed to do that. And anybody who fish for, deep sea fishing and stuff like that, that you can't go after tarpon and certain fish at the docks. They're protected at the docks because it's a game fish. And it's easy pickings at the dock because they're trying to get all the scraps from when boats come in and clean the fish. This is what they said, okay? I hadn't heard this at all, but this is what the report said. And then that caused him and Tyreek to get into an altercation because he let him know that's against county rules. You can't do that. Other reports are that they boarded a boat early and they weren't supposed to do that. So those are the conflicting reports in those regards, okay, of what actually happened. But what we do know, it did lead to an altercation. All right, that's first and foremost. Now, that report basically also said that the guy said he's not pursuing charges is false. That report also stated the report that he's not pursuing charges is a lie. It's totally false. They could not verify that with anybody. It was a straight up lie that the guy said he's not pursuing charges. Now, I knew something was a little fishy about it because when he initially said, when it initially came out, some people said he's not pursuing charges. Then all of a sudden it came out, he's 50-50 on pursuing charges. All of these conflicting stories in that regards. So even at this very moment, we don't know if the guy will be pursuing charges. Okay. Now let's continue to move along chronologically. Okay. Now I'm going to direct your attention. I tweeted this out earlier. Okay. I'm going to show y'all what I tweeted out earlier because the homie hit me up and I got the inside scoop on what was going on. And I know a whole lot more about this situation. I'm just going to put it like that, but I'm not going to go too deep into it. I know a whole lot more about this situation, but this is what I'm able to disclose. So I tweeted it. I said, non-trolling tweet, don't shoot the messenger. I'm being told that this Tyreek situation is bigger than being led on. And what I mean by that, people like, oh, it was a little mush. It was a little tap. I'm being told that it was bigger than that. The victim has lawyered up and potentially already seeking medical care. I'm not going to go into detail about that. But the victim has lawyered up and potentially seeking medical care. I'm told this was no simple slap. If the police release a statement that says Tyreek reportedly told the man, I can buy you and 50 of these marinas, then you'll know what I'm sharing right now is true. Time always tells. Now, y'all see that little timestamp down there? That was at 2:26 p.m. today. Now, I was probably told around 1 o'clock. But I tweeted that at 2:26 today. Let me read this part again. If the police releases a statement that says Tyreek repeatedly told the man, I can buy you and 50 of these marinas, then you'll know what I'm sharing right now is true. So if y'all hear police come out and say that the man claims Tyreek said that he can buy him in 50 marinas, then that means this information I'm telling you is 100% true. Okay? Now, let's move along. I don't know what these people be sending me. Let's move back here. No. Let me back up. Let me go to this one. Now, look at what MFL Football is reporting. And I went to Andy Slater's page, by the way. Matter of fact, let's just go straight to Andy Slater. All right, Andy Slater. Andy Slater reports 35 minutes ago, might I add, y'all. Remember I told y'all saw my tweet at 2 o'clock today. Y'all saw it. I released at 2 o'clock today. 2 o'clock, I released it. Now, here's Andy Slater 35 minutes ago, which is literally after 5 o'clock. The Tyreek Hill police investigation is over, sources say. It probably is over. The investigation is over. Okay? They've concluded their investigation. Cops told the alleged victim he would have to go to the state attorney's office if he decides to pursue criminal charges. So what that kind of tells me is the police asked him, "Are you pursuing charges?" And he probably said, "I don't know." And they told him, "Well, if you decide to, you need to go to the state attorney's office." So in other words, they're not going to bring initial charges. But if you decide that you want to pursue charges, go ahead to the state attorney's office. Now, multiple things could have happened. This man could have already been taken care of and said, "I'm not going to cooperate." And the police have to do what they always do. Well, if you decide to, you got to go to the state attorney's office if you want to pursue charges later. Or they don't have enough to charge Tyreek just off of merit. And they say, if you want to press charges and pursue this situation, go to the state attorney's office. That's all. The investigation is over. They told a man, go to the state attorney's office if you want to press charges. Criminal charges, that is. Because it looks like this is about to line up to be a civil situation. But we'll get into more of that later. Now, Andy Slater continues. And he says more details. Now watch this. Remember what I reported at 2 o'clock? Remember what I reported at 2 o'clock? More details. Hill's crew boarded a boat without permission, as I previously reported, leading to the allegation. Now watch this. The boat employee told cops that Hill said, "I can buy you and the boat. And I'm number 10 with the Miami Dolphins," according to a senior law enforcement source. So the police disclosed that Tyreek Hill, that the dock employee said that Tyreek Hill said, "I can buy you and the boat, and I'm number 10 with the Miami Dolphins." What did I tell y'all? If you hear them come out and say, and Tyreek said, "I can buy you in 50 of these docks," now that's a little altered wording. 50 docks versus you and the boat. It's a slightly different in verbiage, because what was told to me is Tyreek repeatedly told this man that I could buy you in 50 of these marinas. But instead, now Andy Slater is saying that senior law enforcement told him, Tyreek said, "I can buy you and the boat, and I'm number 10 with the Miami Dolphins." The crew member does not want to press charges at this time, sources said. The incident, blah, 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 first. Hold on. The incident first started when Hill's crew tried boarding without permission. We already did that. Police are reviewing video, which may show the altercation, sources say. But that's a part of an old one. So that's the latest on it. So now it's just a simple matter of if this guy is going to pursue criminal charges with the district attorney's office. And I think at this point, because I was also told he is lawyered up, that this is just going to be a civil situation. He may not go down the criminal route and seek charges, but a lawsuit could be filed unless Tyreek and his team go ahead and get rid of this right now. And then we won't hear anything else about it. And that is what's going on in the Tyreek Hill situation. And it's funny to me that Andy Slater puts this out. This is what's funny to me. Andy Slater puts this out, and then all of these people coming at me saying, "You're a liar. You're putting out false information. You're a lie." Where did I lie? Where was the lie that I told? We the people 732. Suspend him for week 12 and 15 and call it a day. Get out of here, man. This at the end of the day, this shouldn't be a suspension. Hopefully, they need to do what's right. Go ahead and take care of that man now. If it's going to become a civil situation, and let it be done. AB said, TD, you finally got one right. Oh Lord, listen. I tell y'all all the time, I give you what's reported from the people that I know that's usually close to these situations. I don't never say that it's factual. I'm just saying this is what's told to me. It don't mean I don't even claim to say that this is what it is. But at 2:00, I told y'all all this information, and they wait to 5 something for him to say this, and people still, oh, you're a piece of this. You're a liar. You lied. This is spot on from what I reported. So at the end of the day, I don't know this, but there's a 95% chance they're going to go ahead and grab this man, take care of him, and this is all gone. They're going to grab this man, take care of him, and it's all done. I hope so. Because nobody's denying the slap. Nobody's denying the altercation. And that's the only thing you got to worry about with the NFL. Make sure that they don't make this a big deal. Because they can still determine in their investigation that he violated the code of conduct. How do you know the so-called victim isn't a Karen and the cops knew it and not settlement warranted? Well, that's not typically what happens. If the cops feel like you're milking this situation, see, you got to understand, law enforcement has to do their job. But if they feel like you're milking the situation, they just won't bring the initial charges. They'll say, man, if you want to press charges, go to the district attorney. They tell us to go pick them up and book them, we'll do it. But based off of what we saw, man, I mean, yeah, he may have been wrong, but come on, y'all both got into. I don't know, but that's typically how that works. The police, when they do their investigation, they're also going to ask the guy. See, this is what y'all need to understand. They're going to ask the guy, do you want to press charges? If he says no or I don't know, they don't make an arrest after the investigation. They turn over the findings of the investigation to the district attorney's office. Now, if the guy said right there on the spot, yeah, I'm pressing charges, they're going to get Tyreek. They're going to get him. But if you don't participate, if you don't want to press charges or you don't know, they conduct their investigation. They turn it over to the district attorney's office and they walk away. Now, the district attorney's office later can say, hey, we're going to pick this up and we're going to charge him. They file the paperwork through the court approve it, police go pick him up, or they contact his people and say, hey, we need you to come in so that we can go ahead and go through the process. That's how this works. This is a district attorney situation now. They have to decide what they want to do. Now, if the guy wants to press charges, he has to go to the district attorney's office to get that done. But the district attorney's office can pick it up themselves if they want to. That's how this works. They do their investigation. If they don't feel like they have enough substantial evidence or whatever to charge him right then and there, and plus the person's not pursuing charges, the police, hey, we did our investigation. Here's the information, DA. We out of it unless you want us to get back in it. It's that simple. H said the police aren't pursuing this anymore. That's what I just said. The police have done their investigation. They send the information that they found over to the district attorney, and they're done with it. Now, if the district attorney wants to pursue this, then that's a different story. But their investigation is over. Tyreek is in the clear for now, unless this individual decides he wants to press criminal charges or the DA wants to pick it up. And I don't think either is going to happen. I think they're simply going to get a hold of him and say, hey, man, let's go ahead and talk, slide him the check, and it's all over, never happened. Now you got to sit back and see if the NFL cares or not. It's that simple. Does the NFL care or not? That's how this works. So that is your latest on Tyreek Hill and his situation this weekend. Now, the NFL probably will be making a statement over the next few days about this, given the fact that the police department has concluded their investigation. Now they're going to send their investigators, contact the police department, and ask them to share their findings. And when they share their findings, the NFL is going to review all the information. They're going to interview the victim if he participates. And this is why you better hope, they took care of him and get it out the way. So he doesn't participate. And then the NFL will look at everything and decide whether or not he violated the NFL policy, code, and conduct. And that's all. It's that simple. So at the end of the day, there's a great chance that this ends up being nothing if Tyreek Hill's team is smart enough to just make sure they get rid of this. And y'all know what I mean? And if it does become something, that's because they totally dropped the ball on just making it go away. Somebody said if the guy won't press charges, the DA won't even bother. Yeah, that's usually how it happens. But if they got the footage, then that's a different story. And y'all do understand why the laws have changed, why they allow the DA now to charge somebody without the witness or the victim participating or cooperating. The reason why they allow that is because if there's enough evidence by the DA, there's a such thing as victim, they want to protect the victim. The victim is scared to testify. The victim is scared to, cooperate. So this is why most states change their laws in this regard. Now they don't need the victim to charge you. The district attorney has to make that decision based off of the evidence. Not even if the victim says, oh, it's okay, I forgive him, it's not that big of a deal, blah, blah, blah. The district attorney still can bring charges. They look at all the evidence, they look at the video, and they determine, did he break a law, and is this enough to get him charged by a jury? And if it is, they pick up the charges. Now, whether it's worth it or not, because they also have to determine what the charge is. Maybe it's a basic misdemeanor and they don't want to go after it because they're focused on bigger fish. Or he's the big fish. That's how that works. They never need victims to charge, but they need victims to convict. That's not true. Once again, video evidence is the victim convicting you. Video evidence. The reason why they typically need the victim to convict, because you need that statement. But a video is a statement. I mean, let's just be honest. If something like this was to go to trial, which I doubt it ever would, and you got the jury sitting there watching Tyreek walk up to a man and just hitting him, I don't care how big or small it was. Oh, well, since the victim didn't want to tell us he did what we just saw, he don't get convicted. Come on, man. That ain't how they work. That's not how they work. You need the victim if there's no video. Exactly. Exactly what I just said. Let's see. How many games will this cost him? If I was to give an honest answer, 0. Again, I don't think they're gonna let this become a big issue. They're gonna go ahead and take care of that man. It's that simple. TD is turning a slap into the first 48. No, I'm just telling you the legal jargon behind what could happen in this situation. That's all. I mean, I'm no expert, bro. I just got a bachelor's in criminal justice, went to school after my bachelor's degree for pursuing my master's in administration of justice and security, and worked in law enforcement for a little stint, worked in corrections as well. I just know what I know, and whatever I don't know, I try not to speak on. And laws are constantly changing. So if I'm outdated, correct me if I'm wrong, acknowledge me if I'm right. That's all. I ain't trying to make this nothing bigger. I'm telling you how the legal system typically works in these situations. Everyone taking all this way too far and making Tyreek a bad person. I'm not making Tyreek a bad person, but I still haven't heard a single soul say that Tyreek didn't put his hands on someone without them putting their hands on him. I still haven't heard that. So this notion of making Tyreek out to be a bad person, we're still waiting on the details. But if he put his hands on somebody without them putting their hands on him, especially if it was because they were trying to tell you what you couldn't and can't do, and then especially if it's true that he also being arrogant saying I could buy you and this doc or whatever, then that's a bad person. I'm not making him out to be a bad person because I'm still waiting on the official reports to come out, the official details, not what somebody said the police said, not what I reported, which was told to me, but not directly from Tyreek, the victim, nor the police. So if all of that is true, he is a bad person. Now, does that mean that, none of us are without sin? Not at all. We all are bad people sometimes. We all make mistakes. But this notion, everyone taking all this way too far, making Tyreek a bad person. If any of it's true, then that's bad. And he just got to do better. It's that simple. It's that simple. Well, what did this guy do? Don't think Tyreek just want to slap him for nothing. Yeah, I agree with that too. That's why we're waiting on the details. But based off of the information that's been given to us at this time, the man was just trying to tell him you're not allowed to be on this boat yet. And that caused an argument, which caused an altercation. And that could be all wrong. We don't know. Maybe a man bumped Tyreek. Was like, "What's up?" And then he slapped. I don't know. Then okay, all right. Now it makes sense. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But like I always say, time will tell, and it always does. Time will tell, and it always does. Okay. Oh my gosh. Y'all see my Twitter feed right now. It's amazing. All these people down my Twitter feed. Looks like the police are closing the investigation. You're wrong. People don't know what closing an investigation means. They don't know what closing an investigation means. And you know what I'll say? The police closed Watson investigation. Didn't they? The police closed the Watson investigation. And they brought no charges, right? So I don't get what people are talking about when they say that. Betty said something racist. Those guys who work at the Bar Harbor fit the stereotype. Man, we don't know. That don't mean the NFL closed theirs, but that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the NFL to come out and say, based off of our review of all the details and speaking with law enforcement, speaking with Tyreek, speaking with the victim, if they we have decided no Tyreek Hill did not violate any other code of conduct. And no further actions will be taken against Tyreek. And we hope that happens. I hope it happens. We need that man on the field. Because if he ain't on the field, now the funny thing is, y'all are live right now, 250 people hearing me say that. Y'all hearing me say we hope that the NFL comes back and say he has not violated the code of conduct and blah, blah, blah. And if they come out and say that, it's going to be people all up in my YouTube comments and Twitter account. See, you were wrong. What are you talking about? I never said that Tyreek was going to get suspended. I never said that Tyreek did it. I never said any of that. I'm reporting the information that's being reported. That's out here. I don't understand why there's this obsession to prove me wrong so much. I have no idea why so many people are obsessed with proving me wrong. Let me get rid of this. All right, TD, don't you think we have more than enough weapons to be able to win some games without Hill? Nope. No. No, we don't. No. We don't have more than enough weapons to win games without Tyreek Hill. No. The answer is no. Do you understand if Tyreek Hill ain't on the roster, we're actually worse than when we had Parker, Gesicki, and Waddle? Think about it. Parker, Gesicki, Waddle. Name the three on this roster now that's better than that. Without Tyreek, give me the three names that'll be better than Parker, Gesicki, Waddle. Speed kills. Tell that to the Chargers. Tell that to the Chargers. Said Braxton Berrios and Chosen Anderson. My point exactly. My point exactly. My point exactly. So no, Tyreek ain't on his roster. No. We're not the Chargers. We're the Dolphins. Exactly. When you say speed kills, tell that to the Chargers when you had Waddle and Tyreek getting absolutely manhandled. And by the way, I actually found what I was looking for, that video. The Chargers got a TV series. They got a TV series. Oh man, y'all hold on. They got a TV series that shows you what I was trying to tell y'all. Oh, I'm a wrong thing. Salute to the homie Try Hard with the donation. Said, is this the same situation as the Devontae Adams when he shoved the camera guy after the game? Adams never got suspended for that. I don't think this is the same situation. Because first of all, they want to get rid of that situation and brush it under the rug. See, what you may not know is what ended up happening with the camera guy. You really think the NFL just said, hey, it's all good, let bygones be bygones to that camera guy? That camera guy's straight. I'm here doing my job, and I got assaulted at work by one of my fellow employees, because technically that's NFL. You think that it was just nothing and bygones be bygones? Well, unless that NFL camera guy is just ridiculous and let that slide. That's a different story. But no, this is outside of the workplace, because in that stadium, he was at work on that day. On the clock, you could say. You think they want that type of press? No, sir. That's the only thing different, if you ask me. And again, the whole alleged verbiage, it's just not good optics for this situation. If it's true, I can buy you and the docs or whatever. That's not good optics for the NFL. That basically tells the NFL, I think some humbling needs to take place, because our consumer, the typical man, you basically took a number 2 on every single one of them, making those statements. Because those statements is basically disrespect to every man that's out here getting it the hard way, making the average median income for just an NFL guy who's entitled to come and say, I can buy you. I can buy you. If that turns out to be true, which there's a lot of reports of it. I was told that, plus it came out 4 hours later. That the NFL can decide, you know what, there needs to be, even at the lowest level, some form of humbling here. Some form of humbling. Because let's be honest, those type of statements are, that's pretty dirty. I mean, let's be honest. That type of verbiage is taking a poop on every single one of your consumers. The typical guy who does not make millions of dollars, that's watching the sport and advancing the sport. So that's the only thing that I think the NFL would not like, adding that on top. He's going to play this season, right? Absolutely, man. Again, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. It's just whenever those comments are a little, why would you say that, bro? That's not good. Now I know a lot of people keep on bringing up him abusing like family members or something like that. I honestly don't know nothing much about that situation, nor did I follow it when it happened. All I do know about that situation is that it was alleged and nothing came of it, so I don't speak of it. I don't talk as if this is a history for him, because nothing came of it for me to say that it actually happened. So I've never followed it or seen it, or if there's video or anything like that. So, and I'm just ignorant to the situation. So don't get mad at me if I'm not, condemning or not condemning him for something of the past with that I know nothing about. Yeah, so like I said, I just report what's being said, and anything that comes out where there's no charges or the NFL says there's no violation of the code of conduct, then it never happened to me, and it is what it is. That's just where I stand, because I've seen a lot of people come at him for something in the past. I don't know nothing about it, so to be speaking on it, I didn't study that situation. I don't even know when it happened. I just know people said something happened. And when I looked up the bare minimum of what I needed to see, it was alleged and nothing was found of it. So that's how I treat it. Just like this situation right here with him. It's alleged. We're waiting to see if anything comes of it. It was good news that the police look like they're not pursuing any initial charges. And if the man want to press charges, he got to go to the DA. So right now, we all good as long as the NFL come back and say he has a violated code of conduct. We all good. And if they come back and say that, then if something else happened, I'm not going to treat him like he got history because nothing came of it. It's just how it works. My bad, y'all. But yeah. You mean football players are cocky? Who would have thought? I mean, we all know they cocky. It's just that you had a altercation that became a media situation, and now it's out there that you might have said that. It's one thing to be cocky and us just no, sir. You don't put that in the microwave. And next time, say excuse me, okay? We know players are cocky, but again, you don't want that cocky out on display unless you're on the field talking to another player. That's all I'm saying. You don't want that on display. You know? I mean, anybody who reads into that type of behavior, it's like saying, oh, you make 50, 60, 70,000 a year. I could buy you. That's most people. And to be fair, 30, 40, 50 a year. I mean, that's most people. And to say I can buy you, you know, and I first of all, I hope that ain't the case. And if it is, then he just had a cocky moment. I ain't gonna kill him for it, but hey, that's tough. Don't do that, bro. You know? Why can't we have the same energy when Tyreek does something positive or charitable? Bring it across my timeline. Bring it across my timeline when he does something positive or charitable. If I don't see it, you know, I'm not looking for it. I wasn't looking for this. This came all across my timeline. Did you hear? Did you hear? Oh, Lord, what is this? Let me look into it now. People want to know about it. So, yeah, send me the Susan G. Coleman this or that. Send me the blah, 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 this and that. I gave a shout out on my channel whenever they donated money for, we lost one of our Dolphin family members. Him and Tua donated some money. I said that was a big up for them to do because it's all Dolphin family. I said that. But, you know, all the other stuff, yeah, if you want me to talk about it, bring it across my timeline. Say, hey, TD, look what Tyreek did. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. And I'll mention it in my streams. Y'all don't understand. Most of the time, I just be chilling and y'all be bringing me the content out here. Y'all be on it. This just happened. That just happened. Did you hear David Long tweak his injury again? Oh my God, let me look into that. You know? No, I'm not saying just you, TD. I mean in general, bro. No, I actually knew what you meant, Caesar, but I wanted to make it clear. I'm included in that, though. I'm included in that. TD, what role do you think the Dolphins organization have in this situation? I don't know, but I don't know how deep that stuff really goes, if it's true or not, because you know a history of big organizations, big money. You know, you clean stuff up. You like they said that Watson situation. Don't know if it's true, but they say that Watson situation, they knew about it. They've been cleaning stuff up for years for him. I don't know. So we don't know their role, but I know one thing: if they smart, hey man, if you know you hit that man and he gonna make this civil, man, just go settle that crap with him now. Give him a little something. If I'm the organization, that's what I'm doing with Tyreek, bruh. Did you slap him? Just be honest, so we can figure out how to best get you through this. That's what the organization is supposed to do, and tell us the truth. We don't want to be out there on a ledge. Tell us exactly what happened so we can figure out how to get past this without it looking bad. That's what organizations are supposed to do. Yeah, this happened, that happened. Is that the complete truth? That's everything, you know? Now remember, we on your side here. We trying to put this under the rug. So don't leave nothing out and leave us high and dry, no matter how bad it makes you look. Because we ain't gonna hold nothing against you unless it comes out, and we have to. But if it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out anyway. So tell us so that we know how to best run this. That's what I would do if I'm in the organization. And he tell you everything, and based off of what we know, if that's all true, man, listen, go set it up with that man ASAP. Offer him a little something. Let's brush this under the table, apologize, and have him sign a non-disclosure, and let's move on. So we can make some statements that this was actually much smaller than it made out to be. The situation has been rectified. As a matter of fact, they're excited to have Tyreek on the next fishing trip with their docs. And once again, we support our quarterback who leads the way and has big goals this year and is not focused on the distractions and more focused on helping his team win a Super Bowl. Fins up. End of discussion. So they could all be like, told you, TD. McDaniel said it was blown out of proportion. Greer said it was blown out of proportion. You always do. Okay. That's what they need to do. That's what needs to happen. Go ahead, clear this crap up. Get this crap cleared up. He don't have to pay the man a dime. Maybe not. Maybe not. All I know is I was told he already lawyered up. So we'll see. We'll see. And that's even better, though, if you ain't got to pay the guy a dime. But please understand this, people. Every time you hear some allegation out there, and then next thing you know, the lawsuit has been dropped or whatever it may be, no charges, the lawsuit was dropped, and the players say, I feel vindicated when they come out. 9 times out of 10, they done paid them off, got an NDA, so they can come out and say, I feel vindicated, and I told y'all I did nothing wrong. But they don't say nothing bad about the person. They don't say, I will be pursuing this because this person needs to be held accountable. Think about it. Anybody who accuses you of something that you didn't do and you're vindicated, who ain't pursuing that person? Who ain't going to make them pay for that? You got to make them pay for that. But why is it that none of them go make them pay for it? And the main reason is because they done already gave them their money, made them sign an NDA. That way they could come out and say, I feel vindicated. Like I said, I want to focus on football, put that behind me. I'm not what everybody out here tried to make me out to be. And they move on. And I'm not talking about this situation anymore. That's what happens. That's what happens. Hey, TD, pray all is well with you and the family. I appreciate that, Don. You keep us in your prayers, man. A few people in our family we lost in the last 24 hours, as a matter of fact. So thank you for even saying that and bringing that up. So just keep our family in your prayers, Dolphin family. We've lost some people in our family, not just one, but yeah. But thanks, Don, for saying that. But yeah, let me finish your comment, Don. Said, question, can Jalen Waddle be number 1 wide receiver if Tyreek is punished? If not, is there one on the roster? If not, will the running game be featured? Let me take this off. Again, Tyreek ain't gonna be punished. I hope so. I'm that's one thing I ain't gonna lie to you. Even if there's a possibility he could, I'm gonna live out of optimism with that because I already know what time it is if he is. I already know what time it is if he punished. All right, but can Waddle be number 1? No. He was the number one already. He can get all the little quick yards and all that, but I'm sorry, Waddle can't be Tyreek in what Tyreek was doing. Matter of fact, when you go watch the film, you know how I always talk about them getting bullied at the line? It's one thing for Tyreek to get bullied at the line. See, Tyreek get bullied and he's thrown off, but he's still trying. Man, when Waddle get bullied, it's a wrap. I'm telling y'all, this is what you see on the field. No, he can't be the number one. He can't be the number one. He's a 1B, though. He's such a great receiver, though. He's supposed to be one, right? You know what I mean? But he was one, and he got number 1 yards. But we know how he got them yards with Flores. We know how he got it with McDaniel. But at the same token, it was because you had that deep threat of Tyreek going deep and Waddle doing those deep crossers. Tyreek 45 yards down the field and Waddle coming across 20 yards down, coming across the field. Them two safeties bail. And Waddle ends up with the one-on-one across the middle, which he done already beat that guy. If you ain't got Tyreek and you got Chosen stretching, teams, and Chosen can get the job done, but Chosen gonna have to be that dude because teams ain't gonna respect Chosen. They can be like, go on out there. We ain't trying to bail for you. We're going to play it straight up, and now we got help across the middle on Waddle trying to do his thing, which would alter our entire offense because it ain't going to work. Now you got that linebacker playing Tampa sitting right there, and he ain't got to worry about going to the next level because Tyreek running. I know people, yeah, but Berrios, Ezukama, all of that. First of all, they wouldn't even use Ezukama last year. And all of a sudden, we just automatically just feel like, oh, Ezukama's the next dude to be Tyreek. Like, come on. We're talking about replacing Tyreek. We ain't talking about guys that we like that can step up and be good. Ain't nobody on this roster can be Tyreek, including Waddle. Let's just call it what it is and be honest. So it would potentially change the whole dynamic of our offense, and we might go right back to the Flores offense because that's the only way it works. Because what y'all don't realize is it kind of worked. The Flores offense kind of worked. We just ran the ball so bad that if you got the better running game, which we should, at least better than what we had with Flores, then it can help a little more and you can have a productive offense without Tyreek. But you can't run the same system without Tyreek. Tyreek is what makes this system go to a whole new level. Tyreek is what makes this you can't. And on top of that, you got all of these better defenses that we're playing this year. I told y'all last year we had like 5 or 6 of those type of defenses we played. This year we got about 12. Double. It don't mean we ain't going to destroy some of them, but we going to have, listen. We had 12 defenses that we played 6 defenses last year that we played that I knew would be a concern. We only broke through 2 of them. And that was a miracle. Just like Baltimore, that fourth quarter, okay, But look at what they were doing at first. That's what I'm used to. This year, if you got like 12 teams like that, you can't just break through 4. You got to break through about 7 of them. Last year, we broke through like 2 of the 6. This year, you can't just double that because it's double and say 4. It got to be 6 or 7 of them, man. You got to be able to break through. But again, I don't think Tyreek's going to have no punishment in this situation. I don't think so at all. I don't think so. But Waddle is a number 1 receiver on a different team. What you have to understand is he's a number 1 receiver because maybe he's the best you got. Maybe he's the best you got. Like, let me give you an example of the difference between Waddle and Tyreek. Tyreek moves better with his speed. See, Waddle, if he's running a crosser, he's beelining that crosser and he's giving you all his speed and it's beautiful. But if you got a Tyreek, that speed maintains the movement. Waddle can, but it ain't as fast as Tyreek with the cuts and stuff at the same time. Plus, Tyreek, I believe he's shorter than Waddle, but he absorbs just a little bit more because he's a little more bulky. And again, splitting the defenses, Tyreek has a burst that Waddle, in my opinion, don't have. Waddle's just pure speed. Tyreek has this speed that if he has to, he got those bursts. Like, it's going to be too far. And I got it. You know what I mean? Waddle, hey, he giving you that max speed the whole time. If it's too far, it's too far. And maybe I'm off. This is just how I be seeing things. This is off the top of my head of how I view them as different. And maybe I'm off, but that's kind of how I see the difference of the two. And with Tua, the way he plays, you got to have those extra features that Tyreek have to make up for those shortcomings. Because I'm going to tell you now, the like 10 deep balls that Tyreek caught last year, or how many ever it was, Waddle wouldn't have caught about 4 of those. Especially in that Patriots game, it wasn't a deep ball. It was like a 20-yarder where he threw it up and Tyreek went up the high point and slashed in front of the defender. That's another one that wouldn't have happened. About 10 of those big plays that we had last year, Waddle would have got about 5 or 6 of them. And that ain't bad because the way that they were thrown, you ain't mad if they didn't. You're just like, come on, you got to put that out in front of, you know? But Waddle would have made some plays still, but it wouldn't have been as many that Tyreek, especially the way he be catching with his body and all and all of that. So, again, I ain't trying to knock Waddle because I actually like Waddle, but that's what I believe. That's what I believe. Let me put that back. That's fine. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to put something back real quick. All right, got it. But yeah, so Donald, he can be the number one, but it's a downgraded number one. And anybody else could step up. Who the heck gonna step up and be Waddle or Tyreek? Chosen ain't finna be Waddle or Tyreek. Ezukama Barrios ain't finna be Waddle and Tyreek. Like I said earlier when you weren't here, Donald, at the end of the day, if we didn't have Tyreek, tell me who on this roster is going to make the 3 guys that would be better than Waddle, Parker, and Gesicki? What 3 guys on this roster right now are better at the wide receiver position than Parker, Gesicki, and Waddle? And we already know how that looks. It can be a little productive, but we know how that looks. And we can say, well, Barrios and Chosen, Ezukama and Chosen. Sorry, y'all, it just ain't more reliable. At least not on paper. It ain't proven to be. It's not. It is a different system, number one. Yeah, it is a different system. That goes to number 1 and number 2. So it's going to Waddle and who? It's going to Waddle and who? So forget the number 3 got in. Waddle and who? Waddle and who? If Tyreek wasn't there. Why you ban me, TD? LOL, that's hilarious. How did I ban you? If I banned you, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. Unless somebody timed you out by mistake. I'll look into it if somebody timed you out by mistake. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, I'm not sure, bro. I don't see where you're banned. Chosen will get it. Yeah, okay. So now you got Waddle and Chosen versus Tyreek and Waddle. And you think that, hey, we just pick up right there and it's all will be the same? If it'll all be the same, then why the heck do we got Tyreek on this roster? If it would all be the same, then what are we doing spending $30 million on this guy? So let's be honest and real. There ain't no replacing Tyreek Hill. Now, somebody brought some stuff up earlier that I'm all for. They brought this up earlier, and I'm sorry, I'm all for it. If you really want to go for broke, hey, go get D-Hop and go get Cook. I don't care. That's the only way. I don't care if you mortgage the future. Go get both of them. But don't forget them 2 additional old linemen on your way. Imagine getting 2 more old linemen that are solid, at least better than what we got now, and you get D-Hop and Cook. Man, listen, man. I'm putting everything in my savings account on the Miami Dolphins winning the Super Bowl, and your boy about to be a billionaire. Billionaire. You said stay out of jail, TD. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody said it will be the same. Chill, TD. No. I'm giving an example. It won't be the same. It won't be the same. And y'all think that we could just rattle off wins without Tyreek? Do y'all realize every week in the season, except the bad weeks, and even in those? See, look at this. To me, this is people get mad when I say this, but y'all think about it and tell me if I'm wrong. Say wrong or right in the comment section. My haters already writing wrong, and I ain't even tell them yet. But tell him if I'm wrong or right. To be quite honest with you, every game this year, it was like the same for Tua as the previous years. It was just that one additional play. This year, it was just that one extra 60-yarder. That one extra 49-yarder. That one extra 56-yarder. It was roughly the same. He used to average like 220. Now he averaging 270. Typically it's that one play, that 50-yard deep bomb to Tyreek. And most of the time it was a bad pass. That's the difference. Matter of fact, some could argue it was worse because the completion percentage was even lower. That's really what happened this year. It's like the same Tua, but he completed that one more big play almost every game. Even in the losses. Look at the San Francisco game and go look at the stats. People are like, he still put up 280. Yeah, the first play of the game went for 80 or something like that. The first play of the game went for 80 yards. The touchdown. And then we got absolutely manhandled for the rest of the game. It's always that one play. This is the exact reason people call you a hater. I know it. Because I point out the obvious that they don't want to hear. But am I wrong? This year, almost every game, there was like one deep ball completed. And when you look at the stats, That's the difference in the stats. One play. And you had like 4 of those in the Baltimore game to help them even more. So that when you didn't have it in the Chargers game, it still looked all right. Well, you threw like a 30-some yarder to Tyreek in the Chargers game. That's the big difference. That's the big difference. But again, I know why they call me a hater, because I point out the truth that doesn't make him look as great as y'all believe he is. And time will tell at the end of the day how that turns out. Yes, sir. All right, come on, TD. You my guy, but Tua was number 2 in deep passes. You're making my point. Yeah, give me a second. The little boys are arguing right now. Seems like every week I have one of these parenting moments live. Come here, Cammy. I know you told me they were keeping you from playing on the piano, but are they playing on it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So you have to wait your turn, okay?
Yeah.
So when your turn comes, then you'll play on it. You can't just take over and tell them to move and say that they're not letting you, okay? All right?
Yes.
All right, give me a hug. All right, love you.
Too.
All right, thank you. TD, did you know Josh Allen had a 63% completion percentage? Absolutely. And what do I call him every week? And for those who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and educate them. What do I call Josh Allen every week? Religiously, without hesitation. Go and put it in the comment section. Tua put up elite stats when on the field. In what game? I don't understand what you're talking about. He put up elite stats when he was on the field versus certain teams. Yeah. Did he put up elite stats versus the Patriots? Did he put up elite stats versus the Pittsburgh Steelers? Was he putting up elite stats versus the Bengals before he got hurt? No, 2 picks. One pick. Could have had more or 2. Was he putting up elite stats versus the Chargers? The man was 3 for 19 at one point. Was he putting up elite stats versus the San Francisco 49ers? Oh, yeah, he did have 280 something or something like that, even though it was 2 interceptions. Come on, man. He was putting up elite stats when he was on the field. I just named 5 games that you cannot dispute. They were not elite stats. Now, how many did he have elite stats? I give him elite stats versus the Lions. I give him elite stats versus the Bears, the Browns, Baltimore. Wish he didn't have them 2 picks, but overall it's still elite. 6 touchdowns. All right, what else? What other game did he have elite stats? Some say the second Buffalo game. I don't know. I got to go back and look at them, but I'll give it to him anyway. I don't care. Let me give him the Buffalo game, right? Yeah, 5 games. So you mean to tell me there are a legitimate 5 games he didn't, and a legitimate that he did, and all of a sudden the conclusion to it all is when Tua's on the field, he put up elite stats. This is what's wrong with some of y'all. And this is what I be talking about and what I be arguing. This is what I got to deal with. And some of y'all don't want to check your delusion. Like these are facts that I just gave you right in front of your face. But I'm the hater. Just literally. Was the Patriots game elite stats? Yes or no in the comment section. The first Patriots game. Did we see an elite version of Tua? Yes or no? Yes or no in the comment section. Make sure I ain't tripping here. They won. Yeah, the team won. Thank you. Why do y'all keep mixing that as if it's because your quarterback you won? The team won, but you didn't get elite stats at all. Somebody said you saw enough to win. That's like me saying in the Buffalo game, I saw enough to lose. The second Buffalo game. That's like me saying I saw enough to lose. I saw enough from Tua in that second Buffalo game to lose. But y'all don't want to get that one up, do you? My point exactly. Stop trying to have your cake and eat it too. I ain't going down this road with y'all. At the end of the day, I just gave you 5 legitimate games that were not even close to elite stats. They weren't even good stats. Let's make sure we get that straight. We talking about elite when they weren't even good. Some of them wasn't even average. Some of them wasn't even average. But you got 5 legitimate games of that. And then I gave you 5 good games, which really is like 4, but I gave you 5. And there you have it, man. And I'm the hater. That's why I proudly wear the badge now. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. And Buffalo defense lost the first game. Well, I saw enough from Tua in the first game. It wasn't elite stats. He had 1 touchdown, 190 some yards, but he had to do much. We controlled the clock. We let them, it was just one of them games. You don't say nothing good nor bad about him. You just know that he didn't do nothing stupid to lose it. So good job for the week. But you don't put it in the category of elite stats. You have to tell me your terms of elite, good, and average. Oh, and now that's a loaded question, Glenn. Those things can be broken out in stats. Those things can be broken out into characteristics, like intent, like the skills of a quarterback. Which one are you talking about? You want to know the difference of each level with stats, or you want to know the difference of each level of your skill level as a quarterback? I'll wait on your response, Glenn, because I'll happily be able to tell you the difference between elite, good, and average. Elite, good, and average. Make sure I remember those for you. Elite, good, average. Where you at, Glenn? Somebody said as a quarterback. All right, how about I just hit both of them, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. And please, Cammy, stop throwing the remotes, okay?
No, it does automatically as the rain got out.
When the batteries came out?
Yeah.
Okay, just be careful for me, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna put them back on.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, let me give y'all both. As a QB, what is an elite QB? First and foremost, a quarterback who can carry their team. They don't need the Tyreeks of the world to be top 5 in the NFL. They don't have to have Tyreek to be top 5 in the NFL. All quarterbacks need good weapons, but there's levels to how good your weapons are. Okay. Elite quarterbacks have the full package. Okay. And if they don't have the full package, they have all the other intangibles that can make up for it, to where they'll never let a defense put them in a situation to expose their weakness. So, for example, elite quarterbacks have mobility, they have arm strength, they have accuracy, they have improvisational skills. They can make every throw on the field. They're good under pressure. They're just feared, like Patrick Mahomes is. Okay. Also elite quarterbacks that say you're not a mobile quarterback and you don't have those type of skills, right? You can make up for it and still be elite by how you, process the field in real time and your ability to read defenses and call audibles and always get your team in the right play. Something Brady does very well, something Peyton Manning became a master at, because they are not mobile, but that's where they made the difference to make them elite. So that since they can't run, they can identify that the blitz is coming off the edge, even though it's disguised. They can identify that nickel is flossing right now. He's actually going to come on a blitz. They can identify that middle linebacker dropping the tempo. On film, I can see this is a tail sign. They can identify that all pre-snap, and they don't keep the same play and say this might be a good option because of what I see. They automatically identify what you're trying to do, and they call a play that they already know is going to destroy it. That's going to give them more than one option also. That's elite. That's graduated. That's a whole nother level. That's that Omaha. That's that kill, and all of that. That's what that is. That's when you're calling out the mic so you can help the running back on your hip just in case you got to pick him up. That's when you're shifting the line of scrimmage, the line based off of where you think the pressure is going to be, or it could be a 4-man rush, but you don't like how you see Bosa over there on the edge looking like he about to eat. So you shift extra protection over there because you just want to, you're playing the game. You're controlling everything. I got a 4-man rush and 5-man protection. But you know what? Instead of the typical center sitting there looking who he can help, I'm going to shift this to the left because I want to double on Bosa. Picking players who you want to protect against. Oh, Michael Parsons moved in the middle. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let me tell the line what to do. This is what I want. Ooh, they overloading the left side. I'm going to tell the offensive line, you know what? When we hike this ball, we're going to shift right. And I done already told the slot receiver we're going on a crossing route on this. Just manipulating the game. That's it. That's if you don't have all the intangibles. That's what elite is. Okay? Good quarterbacks. They ain't Supermen. But they're solid, and they're continuously not the reason why you're losing the game. But they're also not the reason why you're winning the game. But sometimes they'll get one in there. I won that game. But it happens less than the latter. 17-game season, if you play them all, you won 2 games. Elite quarterbacks done won 7 or 8 because of what they did. Good quarterbacks, what they did, they won 2 games. Baltimore, Bears, whatever order you want to put it. That's what good quarterbacks do. That's why Tua was good last year. He was a good quarterback last year. He wasn't really good. He wasn't great. He wasn't elite. See, I even got even more granular levels. But I'm going to give you elite, good, and average. But that's what a good quarterback is. They make sure they're not the reason you lose. But they're also not the reason you win. With the exception of a few rare situations. Like the Arizona game a few years ago for Tua. Like Baltimore this year. Those rare situations. Those are good quarterbacks. Average quarterbacks. You're a placeholder and you see it. You keep scratching your head like, could he be the guy? But he keep making dumb decisions, has flashes, moments, but when it shows up, those are average quarterbacks. They don't have no superpower. They play in a position like the typical college guy. Hit or miss. Some games they gonna lose it for you. Some games they're gonna not lose it for you. But they ain't winning no games for you. Team is pulling them. Run game, play action. Just make a few passes. Don't turn the ball over. That's what an average guy is. And for us in Tua, he struggles going between average and good. And that's why I always told y'all, Tua ain't no bum. He's good enough not to be good enough. He's the type of guy that can start in this league for years to come, but there'll always be moments where you're like, what are you doing? Then there'll be moments where you believe there is hope that he can be bigger and better in the future. And then there will be moments of, what are you doing? Then there will be moments of, I believe this dude can be the future. Back to the moments of, what are you doing? That's the Tannehills of the world, Baker Mayfields, the Geno Smiths, the what's his name? He was with San Francisco, now the Raiders. Garoppolo's, but Garoppolo tends to be more on the good side because he plays consistently well, but he still have his moments. But he's more up there. No. I don't think that's Derek Carr. Derek Carr is good. I don't care how bad he was last year. Derek Carr is good. And sometimes he's really good. Just like Kirk Cousins, he's good. Sometimes really good. But great and elite, they're not. Geno Smith got better, TD. What did I just say? You're going to have moments where you think maybe he could be the guy, he could do something long term. Then you're going to be like, what are you doing? So once again, y'all need to stop living in this one season world. Geno Smith got 9 seasons in his league looking like a bum, and then he has one great season, and y'all think Geno is that dude now. And maybe he is. But wait. Get a bigger sample size. And by the way, the system they run over there is very similar to ours. You're trying, even though they run the ball more, trying to run that rock, play action. It's an easy system for the quarterback. It's what Russell Wilson thrived in. So that's what you get. Hopefully that answered your question as a quarterback, what elite, good, and average is. Now, from a statistical standpoint, elite is like what Jalen Hurts is doing, but with more yardage throwing. In a 17-game season, if you putting up over 4,800 yards, and I don't know how many touchdowns or interceptions, but if your ratio is greater than 4-1, 4-1 touchdown interception ratio, you're elite. Like Jalen Hurts, that man got like a 6-1 touchdown interception ratio. 6. So statistically, and the only reason I put Jalen Hurts as potentially getting it, because I still don't have Jalen Hurts elite, by the way, but he's on the cusp, is the rushing yards make up for him. His rushing yards puts him, it's like a supplement for his passing yards from a statistical elite standpoint. And we already know what Mahomes can do statistically. We know that already. But yeah, that's what elite is. Good quarterbacks statistically, good quarterbacks are above the average numbers. completion percentage, at least 66 or above. And all these categories don't have to exist. Maybe you don't have completion percentage of 66 or above, but other areas are crazy off the charts, right? Your touchdown to interception ratio is 2 or 3 to 1. Those are really good those are good quarterbacks. 2 or 3 to 1. You don't have rushing yards ain't standing out because that's a whole nother thing. That's what brings you to a whole new level. Your decision making, we get into characteristics, but statistically. Now, as far as passer rating, again, a lot of this stuff it depends because of the circumstance a player is in. And that's why I always use Tannehill and people don't like it. That's why passer rating, you can use that of how your statistics stacked up with your peers, but not who you are as a quarterback compared to your peers. Quarterback rating and all of those type of statistics, that's just how you statistically stack up, not how good you are as a quarterback compared to your peers. And that's why everybody who argue against that, for some reason, they all don't like Tannehill, so I use him as an example. Because I say it and tell me why 3 years ago, he had the number 1 passer rating in the NFL. And it wasn't the 105 that Tua had. It was 117, even higher, much higher. Season he had over 30 touchdowns, which was much higher than Tua. Season he didn't throw many picks, actually lower than Tua. But we still call him a bum and he ain't nobody. He can't carry a team. Then there's your proof right there that don't tell you how good a quarterback is. That just tell you how they compare to their peers statistically in that season, which the circumstances could have been different. Maybe you had the best receivers in the NFL. Maybe you had the best deep ball separation in the NFL. I don't know. Whatever the reason may be, there could be factors that allowed you to do that, and that's what passer rating is. It has nothing to do with how you are as a quarterback. It just tells you how you did statistically that year compared to your peers. And if anybody disagrees with that, then it's time for you to start giving Tannehill credit and saying that he's one of the greats too, because he was number 1 in almost every category that year, which he was, shockingly. You know your QB sucks too when he don't even get drafted in a 12-man fantasy football league. He only get picked up off waivers for a bye week, then dropped. Well, some people wish they had him early in the season, though. So that was a mistake by a lot of people. But no, the real evidence is when you get a 100-player list that the players vote on, and people out here saying that he's the number 1 quarterback statistically, but doesn't get picked for the all 100, and like 15 or something like that quarterbacks do. That's all you need to know. This ain't no TD bias. This ain't nobody bias. These are actual NFL players voting. It's that simple. All right. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. 7:30. I got the AFC's roundtable. So I'm gonna see y'all in 30 minutes over at the AFC's roundtable. Appreciate the love and support. Thanks for all those who donated to the channel as well. It's greatly appreciated during the off season. Love y'all so much. Fins up no matter what. I will catch y'all later. Peace. I am out. Think I'm out.